Harrowing moments for NFL star Michael Bennett, pinned down by a Las Vegas police officer.
Literally, I'm terrified on the ground because I'm literally just like worried if I make the wrong decision, if I move too fast, if I twitch and somebody says I'm resisting, because I'm a big guy, you know what I'm saying? So.
Officers responding to what later turned out to be a false alarm about an active shooter at the Cromwell Casino, eventually honing in on Bennett.
I told us to get out, everybody ran!
As seen here in a video obtained by TMZ Sports, Bennett speaking out exclusively to ABC News about the night he says his life could have ended.
You can see that the officer has a gun to your head.
Yeah. That's the scariest part at that moment because I don't know what's going to happen next.
What did he say to you when he had the gun to your head?
We'll blow your head off if you move.
Bennett, a 2014 Super Bowl champion and defensive end with the Seattle Seahawks, says his story is simply the latest chapter in a long tale of racial profiling. An unexpected but not unimaginable outcome for someone who stood up for racial equality on and off the field.
I just want to see people have the equality that they deserve, and I want to be able to use this platform to continuously push the message of that, you know.
By all accounts, Michael Bennett is one of the good guys of the NFL. How does this happen to you?
I'm a black man. Through all the stuff that I've done in society, whether it's foundation, charity things, working with the military kids, working with kids in Haiti, all over the world, here in the United States, and at the end of the day, I'm still a black man.
Before the Las Vegas incident, Bennett protested racial injustice by refusing to stand during the national anthem. Little did he know that just a week later, he'd experience a police takedown that he says was racially motivated. It started out the night of August 26th. Bennett was in Las Vegas for the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
It was after the fight, and then we were in the casino, and then people started moving really fast, and then somebody said it was a gun, and then that's when everybody was on the ground, crawling, trying to get out.
The police body cam video shows some of the chaos that ensued.
It felt like a movie almost because everything was happening so fast. People were running, people were scared because nobody knew what was going on.
No one saw a gun, but everyone saw panic.
Everybody saw panic, and then we saw police and we saw SWAT, so we started trying to get away.
Bennett says he found a place to hide for a moment.
First they said get on the ground, and they said get out. One cop told me I was trying to go the other way, and then he said, no, go this way. So I was just complying to what they told us to do.
Bennett says he ran to the nearest door and exited.
I'm really thinking I'm free at that point. Over. I'm thinking dang, I'm away.
Body cam video doesn't show what happened right after Bennett left the building, but he says he was quickly treated like a suspect.
And then all of a sudden I hear somebody say, get on the ground. Every story that you hear, and then now it's happening to you. And
Las Vegas police said the body cam of the officer who handcuffed Bennett was not activated. On the body cam video that was released, you see what looks like a gun being held to Bennett's head.
I'm on the ground, gun behind me. I'm just thinking in my head, it's Tamir Rice, Eric Gardner, all these people that have been through this, and I'm terrified.
You thought you were going to die.
I thought I was going to die.
Former Dallas police chief and ABC News contributor David Brown analyzed the actions of the police in the footage.
There is never, ever an appropriate time or appropriate action by an officer pointing a gun at the head of a person.
I wasn't doing nothing, man.
I was trying to explain to them, trying to talk to them, and they weren't listening. They were just like, shut the up, get in the car.
Officers eventually put him in a police car.
And finally another officer came up and recognized who I was. I went from being just a black man to being a football player.
They then released him. He was never charged. Bennett's lawyer, John Burris, questions why police zeroed in on Bennett to begin with.
The officers cannot articulate any particular facts that says that he was a justifiable suspect. The fact that he was a black guy running amongst a whole bunch of other people and he's tall and et cetera, that's not reasonable suspicion and not a basis upon which to stop him.
Allegations the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department denied in a press conference last week.
I see no evidence that race played any role in this incident. While officers were searching the casino, they were able to safely evacuate many patrons of all races. It's also important for me to note to you, both of the officers involved in this incident in question are of Hispanic origin.
He clearly doesn't have and ignores the true realities of racial profiling. Black officers, Hispanic officers, white officers, all can be guilty of racial profiling. flat out.
ABC News reached out to Las Vegas police for comment. They referred us back to that press conference where they essentially defended their officer.
Due to Bennett's actions and the information the officers had at the time, they believed Bennett may have been involved in the shooting, and they gave chase.
They've launched an investigation into the incident and are reviewing more than 100 videos from the scene.
But unless things change dramatically, I will file a federal civil rights lawsuit alleging that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated by, one, the illegal detention and the use of excessive force by placing a firearm, a gun at the base of his head.
But some legal experts say that case may not have much to stand on.
You can understand why Michael Bennett is angry, but the officers had been called to a scene where they were told that there were shots fired, people were scrambling, and that he ran, and they then subdued him. Whether they were right or wrong, that's a tough fact pattern for him to win a lawsuit.
Meanwhile, the city's police union wrote a letter to the NFL commissioner requesting that the league investigate and take action against Michael Bennett, adding, "We hope the league will not ignore Bennett's false accusations against our police officers." The commissioner later responding in a statement, Bennett represents the best of NFL, adding, "The issues Michael has been raising deserve serious attention from all leaders in every community." His brother Martellus plays for the Green Bay Packers and got emotional when talking to reporters after the incident.
You just think, what if, you know?
This past Sunday, the brothers played each other on opposing sidelines but united in protest, with Martellus raising his fist and Michael sitting during the national anthem.
For those who would say your stance is un-American not to stand up during the national anthem, you say?
I say I don't. At this point, I think it's un-American what happened to me having guns drawn on me. I say it's un-American what happened to Eric Gardner. It's un-American what happened to Trayvon Martin. What's the most American thing that you could do is fight for equality for everybody.
It was a move reminiscent of Colin Kaepernick's controversial protest on the field last season.
Colin Kaepernick, has he reached out to you since the Las Vegas?
Yeah, of course he's reached out to me. You know, we're good friends.
Do you guys talk?
Yeah, we talk all the time, and it's just and we just talked about the situation. And he just prayed for me and just wished, was glad that I'm alive. So it was able to just talk about it as friends and as brothers about this and how to move forward and deal with the trauma and stuff like that.
But he says the toughest conversation about what happened has been with his children.
It's very hard because it's like to tell them that, look, it doesn't matter about the color of your skin, and to explain to her about racially profiled and do all this stuff, and she just couldn't understand. As a people, we shouldn't have to tell our kids that they matter, that they should ride differently, that they should be careful where they go at night, where they shouldn't wear certain things because they might get racially profiled.
Michael Bennett is a world-class athlete. He also comes from a family of preachers. What happened in Vegas, he says, didn't shake his faith, but rather stiffened his spine. Stand up for what you believe and take nothing for granted, on or off the field.
Every time I see my wife, I try to kiss her like it's the first time we ever met. Every time I play with my daughter, I try to hold them like they were just born because I don't know. It could happen at any moment.
For Nightline, I'm Byron Pitts in Seattle.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.